back home in his home country, and it works for both in their own way.
Yeah, that's right. But there's no way that either, I guess, will go against what they believe in, because, look, recruitment can get you the sack. You get it wrong, expensive signings, it's always used as a stick to beat you with. So certainly Wilder buys British, and for Nuno, he knows what he knows best, and that's the Portuguese market.
Bad back pass here from Traore. Cody sliding in to win the ball back for Wolves. Did ever so well to recover there as McBurney was charging forward down the left-hand side. That's what you want from your captain and your libero, as you say, to cover when those passes go astray.
Yeah, it's almost Beckenbauer-esque, his positioning. It really is. And look, when it works, it's great. The problem is if they lose the ball, he's about 15, 20 yards deep in everyone else, and within one or two passes, suddenly you can be in. And it comes to Jimenez, and he drills the ball out wide of Traore. I mean, that pass just enables Traore to take the ball down and get at Stevens. If it's a floated, soft one, flighted in the air, he won't have that sort of time. Instead, you've got to drill it at him. Fantastic.
Traore's arms are about to burst out of his shirt, but he maintains he doesn't do any work in the gym. It's all natural.
I don't do any work in the gym, and I don't look anything like that.
We can all dream, David Connolly. João Moutinho. Over to the left-hand side to Saiss. Inside the Sheffield United half here, Wolves. Pedro Neto. Forward to the edge of the box to Dendoncker. Goes back to Moutinho. Central position. So Jimenez, edge of the penalty area. Jimenez cuts inside onto his left foot. Curls one towards the far post, just too high. Sends it into the cop behind the goal. Wolves probing, looking for that third goal. Doesn't come yet. Jimenez just off target there.
Yeah, because he's such an accomplished striker. He just invites the diving challenge. Then he can duck back inside. I think it was Fleck. Couple went for the ball, then he's just looking to bend that into the far corner with his left boot, but just got underneath it a little bit.
24 minutes gone, Wolves leading by 2-0. Jimenez inside 3 minutes, Saiss added a second inside 6. It's just a game where it looks like there's going to be more goals, David Connolly, especially from a Wolves point of view.
Yeah, and it's the first time really there from a goal kick. Sheffield United have actually retained the ball.
McBurney, edge of the Wolves penalty area, Basham joining in, Norwood will work it wide, crossing opportunity here for Baldock, in it goes, deflected off Pedro Neto, out for a Sheffield United throw, 10 yards up from the corner flag on the right hand side.
Great play there from Pedro Neto. Yes, great with the ball, but how good are you without it? When the ball goes wide for Sheffield, you know that ball is coming in the box. Your teammates have got to go and close the ball down. Pedro Neto there, fantastic, got out, closed the ball down, prevented the ball coming in their box.
Remember, this is the first of 2 games tonight. Brighton against Chelsea to come at 8:15 UK time, with Tom Rennie and Danny Gavidon. Slight problem here for Pedro Neto. Maybe just slightly winded or something there where the ball hit him, but he's okay, and it's a Blades ball on the right hand side. Throw-in to be taken into Lundstrom, back to Baldock on the right, challenged by Marçal. Sheffield United throw again, and closer to the corner flag now. All a bit tight for them there. Baldock being told to get back close to the corner flag. He wants to move it back up the touchline a bit, where he's got a few more options. Throws it towards the edge of the Wolves box now. McBurney trying to nod it on. It breaks over on the right hand side for Stevens, who's there. Then Donker nods it away. Wolves trying to work their way out, and Daniel Podence doesn't quite win the throw. Norwood has it back and goes into his own half. This is a better sustained spell of not necessarily pressure, but possession at least for Sheffield United.
Yeah, at least they've managed to keep the ball in the Wolves' half, up until they just cleared that ball. But, picked up the second ball, picked up the pieces. That's really important.
McBurney nods the ball on. Matinho sends it into the sky. Basham nods it forward. Wolves get it back up towards Jimenez on the halfway line. Header one there, though. This time by O'Connell, though. Wolves coming forward with Podence on the left-hand side. If you can find Jimenez in the middle, Wolves might be in again. Raul Jimenez onto his right foot, back onto his left. Doesn't quite fall for him in the end, loses possession, and then Donker can't pick up the scraps.
It was unlucky, just couldn't quite sort his feet out. That's because the ball from Podence was a little bit slow, slightly behind him, so there was no real speed on the pass. Had to check back inside and just couldn't quite sort his feet out. It was unlucky. Again, though, they look so threatening on the break.
Played forward here to McBurney, who's onside. Tries to cushion it to the right-hand side. Eventually it goes to the feet of Baldock. Basham. Norwood in the centre of the park here for Sheffield United. Just cuts across the ball slightly to play it out to the left for O'Connell.
That's called a daisy cutter, I guess you would call.
Not too many daisies on this surface. Pristine condition. The sprinklers were on maximum setting before the game. Chris Wilder liking to get the surface nice and slick. But it's Wolves probably have made the most of it so far. Nodded on here by McBurney to Sharp on the edge of the box. Backing into Conor Cody here. Bolly pokes it away. Wolves so hard to break down at times.
Oh, they're such a big back three, aren't they?
Ender Stevens left side. The Republic of Ireland international. Swings one into the box. Saiss in the right place at the right time to nod the ball behind. It's a Sheffield United corner. Or was it gone behind for a goal kick, in fact?
Well, I just wonder whether there was a little push in his back there. I think that's what he's appealing for. Just as that ball came in. Stevens out on this left-hand side, just using the overlapping run, just to buy another yard and deliver it in right along the 6-yard box. But I think Sharp gives a little nudge in the back of Saiss. Maybe that's why they got the ball.
I've seen the assistant wave, though, but the referee has given it Wolves' way in the end. Not too many complaints. And Rui Patricio, who did lose his place in the international team during the international break, to Anthony Lopez. Playing here for Wolves and has played a short one out to the left-hand side for Marçal, who drops off. He launches one forward, but not great, really. So far, Sheffield United are yet to have a shot in this game. Does that surprise you, David Connolly?
No. Well, it surprises me. Obviously, if before the game I would have thought this would have been a much closer contest, but certainly the way Wolves have started, come flying out the traps and fully justify their lead and have dominated the ball. I think it's over 60-40 possession for Wolves.
Yeah, 66% of the ball they've had. Both sides have had a corner. It's Wolves that have 2 goals. Played 28.5 minutes here at Bramall Lane. High ball forward for Sheffield United. Breaks on the edge of the box here for John Lundstrom. Lifted high towards the far post. Fleck nods it back in. Patricio comes. He's flapping here. He's lost the ball. But they flag up for offside. Mike Dean gives Wolves the free kick.
Well, he's gone clattering into Rui Patricio here, Billy Sharp. They keep the ball alive. Couple of headers. one-headed back across goal. Sharp goes up to challenge Patricio, but very rarely, once you make contact with the goalkeeper, does play continue. Here's the ball just helped in by Lundstrom, helped back in by Fleck. And there's Sharp just slightly offside, but still he goes right into the goalkeeper who drops the ball, but he gets a free kick anyway.
Assistants have been told to keep the flags down for marginal offsides this season as part of the revamped VAR process, where the referees are going to be checking the screens more. New handball law as well. Do you know where the bottom of your armpit is, David Connolly?
I do, but I don't know where it is for VAR.
Probably wherever they wanted to be at the time. That's half the problem. Rui Patricio with a bad ball out here, put Traore in trouble. He's conceded the throw. O'Connell forward. Fleck plays it back towards the halfway line here, but Jimenez nips in and wins it for Wolves. Daniel Podence has made the run forward past Jimenez, who's got it on the right wing here. Jimenez, edge of the box, plays it into the area now, picked up on the far side by Pedro Neto, and in the end the ball bounces behind off his shin after a good challenge by Chris Basham. It's the Sheffield United goal kick.
Well, it just bounced in front of him, Neto. A little bit how it bounced in front of Jimenez, but he was able to dispatch it this time. Neto not quite of the same ability. I just wondered if he had Neto running towards the near. He could have slid it to him, instead picked up Neto at the far. That little bounce in front and the poor control just carried the ball away from him.
So goal kick
so sharp though.
Home side. Sorry, David.
James. Yep. I was going to say, how sharp is Jimenez? He's been electric. He really has. I mean, he's quick onto everything. A little bit quicker than Basham there, just nipping the ball in front and going again. He's looked sensational.
Well, he played almost every minute of every game last season, Raul Jimenez, and even when they brought in Leonardo Campana in January, he was a player who didn't get a look in under Nuno.
And the Confederations Cup, you've got to remember.
He's played everything. He plays internationals from Mexico. He's travelling backwards and forwards across the world. But they've now brought in Fabio Silva for 35 million, out-and-out number 9. You know, Wolves saying that he's the best in his age group around Europe at the moment. So everyone was wondering whether Wolves were going to go 2 up top and, you know, play an out-and-out number 9 alongside Jimenez. But it looks like Fabio Silva will be playing second fiddle to him. But a player who Nuno will want to be able to replace Jimenez, you know, with 70, 80 minutes gone in games to give his main man a rest.
Yeah, and I think at times, certain games he'll play 2 up top. I think when Wolves play the likes of the Sheffield United away, definitely be 1 up top. You might see him playing 2, maybe a little bit more often at home. Or look, like Newcastle, against opponents you think, you know what, we could get at these. Newcastle played 2 up top against West Ham and got their goals. You know, my front 2 are going to be much better than the opposition's back 4 or the 2 centre-halves, and that's invariably how it goes.
Wolves v Man City next Monday. That should be an interesting one. That's an 8 o'clock start.
Well, they had the measure of them twice last season, didn't they, Wolves?
Did the double. Well, the second game was a right humdinger. Man City 2 up before having a man sent off. Wolves coming from behind in that one. Traore scoring 2 goals right at the end for Wolves at the Etihad as well. Bolly heading away here for Wolves towards the halfway line, but Sheffield United get it back. They're seeing a bit more of the ball now. Chris Wilder's side. Wolves conceding a free kick here. 10 yards inside the Wolves half. The free kick has been taken. O'Connell out to the left-hand side. Stevens inside. Fleck, left corner of the penalty area, sends a high ball into the box. Rui Patricio comes and claims. Am I being a bit too simplistic here by saying that Sheffield United's patterns of play are a bit easy to read at times if you're an opposing team?
I think so, yeah. Just looking at this challenge, just as you were talking there, James, John Egan just clattered into the back of, we'll have to wait and see, Raul Jimenez just before the halfway line. He receives the ball from the goalkeeper, tries to let the ball run across himself, and Egan just clatters into him from behind. But yes, a bit predictable. Look, old school British, whatever you want to call it, get the ball up front, get it wide, get it in the box. And that's basically been Sheffield United in a nutshell so far.
Jimenez with the opening goal here, scored 27 goals in all competitions last season, the third most of any player in the Premier League after Raheem Sterling and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Failed to score in both appearances against Sheffield United last season though, but his goal to open the scoring here tonight was terrific, added to by the header from Roman Saiz. Podence inside the Sheffield United half, goes back to Cody. That's the right hand side for Den Donker, who's put in a good shift so far. Moutinho in midfield. Saiz on the halfway line on the left. Brings in Pedro Neto. He and Daniel Podence have strange roles in this side. They're popping up all over the place so far. They're not necessarily playing as out-and-out wide forwards and sticking to the 2 wings, are they? They're kind of drifting infield, then going out, leaving spaces for Marçal and Traore as well.
I think they're definitely trying to support Jimenez, and they just have that little bit of freedom, obviously, to roam within that structure. Obviously, the back 3, they don't move. They're pretty fixed, unlike Sheffield United's obviously with their marauding wing-backs, but to be honest, they haven't actually got out so far today, have they? Because they've got the pace of Podence and obviously Traore just to attack into those spaces if they do go. So, tough one for Chris Wilder here. You know, does he stick or twist?
11 minutes to go until half-time when he's going to make that decision. Is there anyone on their bench you'd immediately think to put on, to give them something a bit extra? You know, Sander Berger maybe, but, you know, Ampadu's not going to give you anything in an attacking sense. David McGoldrick's not getting any younger.
Well, Ollie Burke, obviously, he's been bought for his pace. There's probably not a quicker player in the Premier League. He is up there, so he'll be able to run in behind a bit more direct.
England boss Gareth Southgate in the crowd watching here today. Conor Cody obviously playing at centre-half for Wolves. In terms of the other players he might be watching, I'm not really too sure beyond that, to be honest. Ramsdale possibly is the goalkeeper. But Cody, you'd have to say, is probably the main one that he's having a watch of. Basham, high ball in here for Sheffield United, and it caused problems for Patricio, who has to tip it behind for a corner.
Yeah, he didn't really want to, but he had no choice because it looked like it was just sailing under the bar. Not the intended target to go for goal here, Basham, but he's just trying to help it into the box. Another ball, another cross that's coming in. We spoke about earlier, didn't we, the importance of trying to block those balls. You wouldn't believe how crucial it is if you've got players in your team that can stop that ball coming in the box.
Basham forward for this corner. Outswinger from the right here, taken by Norwood. In it comes towards Basham. Bolly gets something on the ball. Saiss then nods it away. And then an overhead kick away by Adama Traore up towards Neto, who nods it forward, trying to get the better here of Baldock, who bundles into him but wins the ball fairly and goes back to Ramsdale. Wolves leading by 2-0, 10 to go until half-time.
Well, they just kept Baldock back there for corners against because he does have the pace to deal with the likes of Neto. Had to be spot on there and just about got it right.
Norwood to the right-hand side, and Basham carrying it further forward, carries on his run as well, as we've seen so often from these Sheffield United centre-halves over the last few years under Chris Wilder, who's approaching 200 games in charge now. Sheffield United over on the right, Moutinho with a good challenge. Sent it away to the halfway line, but no one there in Wolves' colours. O'Connell inside his own half, to the left-hand side, and Stevens over the halfway line. Plays it into the channel here for Billy Sharp. Bolly trying to get there against him. Bolly gets a touch on it. Cody then takes it down, and a ball away to Bolly, which wasn't the best, but Cody has another opportunity to play a ball out now. And plays it onto the chest of Pedro Neto, but Jimenez had moved away from him, and Neto gives the ball away.
I tell you what, Conor Cody looks like he's got even more confidence now after his England performance. I've got to say, very casual, calm at the back.
Fleck inside for Sheffield United. Norwood trying to spread the play, does so into Basham on the right-hand side of midfield. Basham looking into the box, but a short ball inside to Baldock, who he tells to turn. His cross is blocked, and then Lundstrom will settle for the corner.
Well, there's Raul Jimenez. What a job he's doing for the team. Back 30 yards from goal, just blocking that cross coming in the box, because he knows, they've obviously spoken about it, the importance of preventing balls coming in the box. As it is, it's gone out for a corner, so they're going to have to face one anyway.
Norwood will take it over on the right-hand side. Third corner of the game for Sheffield United. Outswinger in towards McBurney, who nods it towards goal, and it's straight at Rui Patricio in the end. Got plenty of purchase on the ball, but not the direction. Wolves trying to break out with Daniel Podence, but he's lost the ball. Sheffield United have seen plenty of the ball, haven't they, in the last 10 minutes, but still not really done too much with it. They have it on the right here with Lundstrom. Ball into the box away by Saiss. Moutinho forward to Jimenez, who can turn on the halfway line, looking for options either side of him, but no one making a direct run. He's then taken down by Egan, but play continues. Advantage given by Mike Dean. Traore. Are you surprised we haven't seen more of him so far?
Well, I just think he's, I wouldn't say playing within himself, but he's playing within a structure where he doesn't necessarily have to bomb forward, does he? Two to the good. Just manage the game.
Dendoncker in the right back position, plays it in field here to Moutinho. Dendoncker again, looking infield, not looking towards the right-hand side where Traore was waiting. McBurney catching his opposite number here, Jimenez, and McBurney getting a yellow card. He's not happy about that decision from Mike Dean.
Well, he's appealed for a few free kicks himself. Obviously, he's had a bit of rough treatment, McBurney, but hasn't got anything this time. He gives a little bit back. Heavy challenge on Jimenez. He just steps in. It's actually not the the first, his leading leg. It's his trading leg that just clears Jimenez out. Rightly got a yellow card, to be honest.
Kicks the ball, but then kind of kicks Jimenez, doesn't he? Out of frustration, I think, there. What an aggressive player at times, Ollie McBurney. 6 to go until half-time. Wolves leading by 2-0, and they're taking this free kick out to the left-hand side from Matinho to Pedro Neto. Back it goes to Rui Patricio. Bolly. Lifts a high one forward towards Jimenez. Nods it on, but straight into the path of Egan. He on a yellow card as well as McBurney now. It's out of play. Throw in to Sheffield United, and Stevens will take it. It's an atmospheric ground, of course, when it's full Bramall Lane. No one here to see this performance, and probably quite glad they haven't paid the money given how Sheffield United have played so far. But they do have a wide free kick here, won by McBurney on the left wing. And this is a good opportunity for them because the likes of Norwood can whip in a good ball, can't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to get this one right. Obviously had one Neto at one end for Wolves under-hitting, then Sheffield United over-hitting one into the arms of Patricio. They just need to get this right with Norwood. It's a big back line though from Wolves, isn't it? Really big.
Plenty of good headers of the ball in there for both teams. Norwood wide left, swings one in, and Matinho nods it on and out on the other side. It goes for a corner.
Well, he does a job for the team. Matinho often been that man in that sort of near space, just trying to prevent the ball getting into those big guys. He's probably the smallest on the pitch. Well, him and Podence just gets a little flick on it, takes it away from danger out for a corner.
Fleck will take it on the right. Quite a stocky midfielder, but has a good range of passing. Traoré battling here with Lundstrom inside the penalty area. In it comes from Fleck now towards the near post where Jimenez nods it away. Norwood picks it up. Midway inside the Wolves half, takes a touch, nearly loses it to Neto. Sheffield United side again as the two wing-backs combine. It's Baldock that finds Stevens. Forward to the left side to Sharp. Norwood into the centre circle. Baldock stands a high ball up forward, but Wolves will let that one go. Out of play for a goal kick. And from that wide free kick in the successive corner, it was important for Wolves not to concede right before half-time.
Absolutely. I mean, they cleared the danger pretty well. Not the best ball in, was it? And Jimenez doing a job for his team at the near post, heading that clear. What a first half he's had. It's been absolutely electric.
Patricio has been told here by the referee to get on with this goal kick. 3.5 minutes left of the first half, which started action-packed with 2 goals inside 6 minutes. A couple of half opportunities for Wolves since then, but Ramsdale hasn't had to do too much, though he might hear as Podence comes forward, tries to slot it on for his fellow countryman Neto, who wasn't really looking at the ball. Ramsdale gets the ball clear here. Bolly then nods it down. Lundstrom helps it wide to Baldock. Norwood sends a long one forward towards Fleck. It just prevents the ball going out for a goal kick. It's a Wolves throw by their own corner flag. You always hear pundits talking about teams working promoted teams out in their second season. I personally don't buy that, but do you? Do you think it's a thing? Surely, the analysis and, the teams that do all the kind of scouting and things in this present day know what teams are going to do ahead of games. It doesn't take them a season to work things out, does it?
No, that's right. But I think certainly some facets of their play, I think teams have worked out now in terms of how to combat them. But still, their style of play is their style of play, and they'll get success, they'll win games, and they'll lose games.
Fleck on the left here, cuts inside. Claims of handball by Dendoncker. Fleck tries to cross it, goes out off Dendoncker for a Blades throw. He's won 99 games in charge of Sheffield United so far, Chris Wilder. This team are going to have to come up back with a huge second half here if they're to get anything from this game.
Well, look, he doesn't pull any punches, does he, Chris? Tells it how it is, which is, I think, why players warm to him. I'm sure he will at half-time.
Stevens on the left. He's surrounded by 3 Wolves players. One of them to win it is Dendoncker, but then he dribbles it out of play. And a throw in here to Sheffield United near the corner flag. 90 seconds left of this first period. Stevens will take the throw. Long one as well. Into the Wolves penalty area towards McBurney. João Matinho gets his head to the ball. Traoré with a slice clearance into the air. Neto then gets a shove in the back. Doesn't get a free kick though. Sheffield United retain the ball. Fleck on the left. Traore challenges for it. Breaks for Stevens. Trying to get a goal back before half-time here, Wilder's side. Traore with a sliding challenge, then goes flying into O'Connell with his strength and brute power there. Doesn't win the ball, though. Sheffield United have it with McBurney. Bolly wins the header. Out of play for a Sheffield United ball, and Chris Wilder's side with some late pressure in this first half. Final 40 seconds of the 45. Moutinho challenging to win the ball here. Breaks for Stevens on the left. Back to the halfway line now, where he breaks for Egan.
Well, this is reminiscent, James, of how they were against Sevilla. Very deep, couldn't get the ball off the opposition. This is fine because they got a lead, seeing the half out, but at times you just want to be a bit more aggressive going forward.
I think as well as they've done, there'll be some words of warning from Nuno at half-time.
Yeah, certainly in terms of just, handing initiative to the opponent, sitting back, just being a little bit too deep. We saw that against Sevilla. They just couldn't get out.
Sheffield United with the ball forward here, breaks from McBurney. Sharp left corner of the penalty area into added time at the end of the first half. 1 minute of added time. Stevens, left wing cross here is deep. Touches off the head of Marçal before he plays it away up the left touch line. Neto takes it on the halfway line. Now with a run forward here, the Portugal under-21 international. On the left wing, Neto tries to swing a ball in, and he gets Wolves a corner right at the end of this first half.
Well, support was so slow coming there for Neto. He had to look up. There was only really Jimenez in the box, and that's because they've just been so deep, Wolves. And at times, they do struggle to get players up in support when they do defend as deep as they have at times. Like we said, Sevilla, a couple of other games. Chelsea, they were very deep, couldn't get up the pitch.
Corner Wolves then. 10 seconds left of this first half. Wolves leading by 2-0. And João Moutinho is going to go and take it. 5'7" of football heaven, they call him in Wolverhampton.
Never heard that one, but I could do with that. That's not bad, that would suit me.
Moutinho's corner from the left. Bit of movement inside the box. Most of the players bunched towards the penalty spot. Wolves have taken it short. The cross will come in here from Moutinho. High towards the far post. Too long for Dendoncker, out of play. And that will just about take us through to half-time as Mike Dean blows his whistle for the final time in this first period. All the action inside the first 6 minutes. Raul Jimenez with a fantastic finish to give Wolves the lead just after 2 minutes. And then Roman Saïs' header after 6 minutes means that the half-time score here at Bramall Lane is Sheffield United 0, Wolves 2. Here are the first half highlights. Bringing those in just a second. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet, Centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of talk sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of talk sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
Welcome back here to our coverage of Sheffield United against Wolves. The side from the Black Country leading 2-0 at half-time here in Yorkshire. Here are the first half highlights. Now Daniel Podence down the left-hand side for Wolves. The Portuguese sprints past his man. Podence towards the edge of the penalty area. Neto is up there as well. In the box towards Jimenez. Oh, what a start for Wolves. Raul Jimenez guides one into the top corner. And Wolves lead here within a couple of minutes. Sheffield United 0, Wolves 1. And of course it had to be the Mexican forward Jimenez who strikes.
Wow. What a finish this is. I mean, absolutely fantastic football. Defending round their own box, then they break so quickly. Podence, I think he skips past John Lundstrom, just sucks him in, then skips away past him, gets his head up. Plenty of time on the ball, plays across with his left leg, just bounced right in front of Jimenez. He guides it, keeps his eye on it, used the instep and just sweeps it home.
It's going to be Neto to swing this one in, outswinger from the left. In it comes now towards Dendonka, header, it's in for 2-0, and it's Roman Saiz. Wolves with 2 goals inside 6 minutes, and they are running away with it here at Bramall Lane. It's Saiz with a header, and Wolves here with the perfect start.
Wonderful. Terrific goal this is. I mean, it's all about the delivery, to be honest. The delivery makes it. Terrific outswinger. There's 4 players together. There's Saiz, gets up above all the others, heads it back where it came from. Great goal.
So 2-0 Wolves lead at the break here at Bramall Lane. I've been watching this game with former Wolves striker David Connolly. You'd have been proud of that finish from Jimenez, wouldn't you?
Wow, I mean, what a goal. Terrific technique. We've seen that so many times from Jimenez. You know, he's got that ability to, you know, to put the ball basically in the back of net wherever he wants. Difficult skill. Ball coming across your body, as I know. First time, just trying to guide it into the goal. That back half of the goal, very difficult. But do you know what? He made it look so easy.
And then the second goal, you know, we've talked so often in this first half about how Wolves have a number of good headers of the ball. Bolly, Dendonka, Jimenez, Marçal, but it was Saiz who rose highest.
Yes, and look, they're a big team. They're big boys at the back, you know, Bolly, Cody, Saiz, you name it. And once you get that delivery right, that outswinger just going away from everyone, and, you know, Saiz got up above everyone. I guess Chrissy Wilder might look at his defending and think, you know, no one got tight enough. Who was touch tight? Who was wrestling? You know, Saiz, you know, when you're playing against a side like Wolves, you've got to get tight, especially at set pieces. And there was no one really on Saiz, so he had a bit of a free header, which will be, you know, certainly disappointing. Because, look, they went in, 1-0, you got a chance, 2-0, very difficult, you know, it really is.
First 15, 20 minutes, Sheffield United well off the pace, but they've been in it more since then, but all they've had to show for it is a header from McBurney straight to Patricio.
Yeah, and I just wonder, just thinking about it, you know, if this is a tactic that Nuno wants from his team, in terms of, you know, sometimes you work on this in training. Right, this is a scenario, we're 2-0 up, we've got 10 minutes to go till half time, let's sit in, let's be deep and be hard to beat. And that's what you're working on the training ground. You know, but we have seen, for example, against Sevilla, where they just couldn't get out in the Europa League final. Saw it against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they were too deep, couldn't get out. I guess the difference might be they got 2 goals to the good here. But I have a feeling it might be Nuno just with his tactics.
Any changes at half time from either side you'd make?
Well, just looking at the benches, obviously you've got Ollie Burke, who's got that little bit of pace. You've got Dave McGoldrick to come on. He always makes a change with his strikers, invariably 2 for 2. So you might see one of them. Apart from that, he's not going to make any other changes. Ampadu, defensive-minded. And for Wolves, it will be a case of pretty much of the same. And I guess for them, it's good that they're not behind for a change and chasing a game. You know, certainly for Nuno, we think, right, you know, come on, let's see this game out now. Get another goal, game's over.
With Oliver Burke, an option off the bench, he's potentially a wide man that you'd play in a 3, but where does he fit into this system?
Yeah, I think he can. I've seen him play down the middle. Saw him numerous times. Obviously, did scouting jobs on him, and there is nobody quicker. He can do both. He can play through the middle, or he can play out wide. Not a problem for him. But look, whether he's got enough to trouble this Wolves defence, looking at Connor Cody, he looks, supremely confident, so calm in possession. He made a little error in his own 6-yard box, got the ball back, and he was like, don't worry, calm down. I'll find a way out of this. And he drilled a 50-yard ball, I think, up to Neto. So whoever comes on is going to find it hard against Bolly and Cody and the like.
So, Sheffield United 0, Wolves 2 at half-time here at Bramall Lane. Second half coming up shortly. The second game later tonight, 8:15 start UK time, is down at the Amex. Brighton against Chelsea. Tom Rennie and Danny Gabidon will guide you through that one later tonight. Now we can hear from the two bosses, Graham Potter and Frank Lampard.
We want to try and attack better as a team. We want to try and score more goals. Try and win more games. Again, it sounds easy when I speak now, but again, that is also the challenge for us. But we're looking forward to it. The boys they understand that that's the next step we need to take without losing our defensive stability. That's the next step we need to take. But again, it's you're playing against other teams. It's not just us out there. Other teams don't want to concede goals. They don't want to concede chances. And we're playing in the toughest league in the world with some really, really good players. So it isn't so straightforward. But again, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we'll work very hard to try to achieve.
Of course, we want to start well, but we have to respect Brighton and know the good team that they are. We're going away from home to their stadium, and we also, as I mentioned, have had a non-pre-season because most of our players have probably been joining either in the last few days or had a week before they went to international break, and we were playing Bayern Munich, I think 36 days ago when we kick off against Brighton. So that's been challenging for us, as it has been for a lot of clubs. I'm not making excuses. We need to be ready on Monday. We want to win the match.
We need to be ready, says Frank Lampard, ahead of Brighton against Chelsea later tonight. David Conlon, we talked about Chelsea and their title ambitions before the game. What about Brighton this season? Can they push on under Graham Potter?
Well, I certainly think they can. Highest ever Premier League's points total. I guess, they have strengthened in lots of little areas. There's an awful lot of players gone out, though. Aaron Moy, you can keep going. I mean, I was just looking at it today. So many players going out, because obviously I'm covering them up against Portsmouth. Seeing Duffy gone, Button gone, Glenn Murray gone, Matt Clark gone, Mike Montoya gone. Obviously they've brought in the creativity of Adam Lallana, which I think is going to be a terrific signing for them. Firepower, definitely an issue. There was something like 8th in terms of creating big chances, but, really didn't really take them. Got a coveted defence. I think the defence is really, really good. And obviously, they're well on their way, I think, with this project that Potter's got them going on. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's probably...
Ben White, you've got to remember they've got Ben White as well.
Yeah, of course, a much coveted player. Yeah. I think it's probably the case that a number of players need to be a bit more consistent this season. We saw flashes from the likes of Aaron Connolly last year, Ali Reza Jahan Bash.
You can never rely on a Connolly up front, can you? Bang average.
Thank you very much, David Connolly. Sheffield United against Wolves is coming up here. The second half is on the way very, very soon. Wolves leading by 2-0 at the break. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport. Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy. But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving Home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport. Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Sheffield United against Wolverhampton Wanderers from Bramall Lane. I'm your host, James Field, and alongside me is the former West Ham, Southampton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Republic of Ireland, just about every English club going striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. The players back out for the second half here at Bramall Lane. David Connolly, do you like going here over the years?
It's a tough place to go. I did score there a couple of times, but make no mistake, certainly with the fans there, and obviously they're not at this moment in time, and you'd imagine they'd be trying to get them up for this second half, try and get back in the game, give them a rousing reception as they come out for the second half, but obviously there's few and far people here, so it's another challenge, I guess, for some of these teams when they are losing.
Can't say that I know Chris Wilder personally. I'm sure you know him a bit more than me, but he certainly comes across as the kind of person who could motivate his side when they're in this kind of position at half-time.
Make no mistake, absolutely. We just saw him there chatting to Dave McGoldrick. I imagine at some point, as we know, he always changes his strikers. He likes 4 strikers and not afraid to take 2 off, put on another 2. There's a shot on Nuno there.
Pensively stroking his long beard.
Yeah, I mean, look, he'll be really pleased. Certainly with the long season they had last season and coming to such a difficult place like this. Be really pleased with that first half performance.
The Wolves team just going through some gentle stretches before the second half gets started. Doesn't look as though there'll be any changes for either side. So Sheffield United again with Ramsdale in goal, Baldock, Basham, O'Connell, Egan and Stevens across the back, Lundstrom, Norwood and Fleck in midfield, McBurney and Sharp up front, while Wolves have Patricio in goal, Traore, Bolly, Cody, Saiss and Marçal across the back, Dendoncker and Moutinho in midfield, Neto and Podence either side of Jimenez up front. The ball is in the arms here of Rui Patricio. So he looks to get Wolves going forward again. As I said, they have Manchester City next week. They've got Stoke later this week in the League Cup. Sheffield United on the road at Burnley before then travelling to Villa on Sunday. Should be a game they'll be hoping to get points from if they don't get any from this.
Well, I was just looking at Rui Patricio there. I mean, he's right-footed, isn't he, Rui Patricio?
Left.
He's lefty, is he? Oh, my mistake then. I just thought he'd flick that from his right onto his left deliberately and then kicked it out of play, but...
Oh, his kicking's not particularly good at times, Rui Patricio. Yeah. One of his weaknesses, I think you would say. But Sheffield United, in terms of their overall standing this season, the window's still got time to run. They could make more acquisitions, but given what they've done, given what they've got, what's an achievable finish for them?
I think top 10, it'd be wonderful for them. Very hard to replicate what they did last season.
But do they have the firepower? We'll talk about that in a sec because they're in the area here. A chance to get one back, and it's lashed over the top and behind by Ender Stevens.
Well, it's a really good move. They got him behind here, and he's got a couple of his teammates, in particular John Lundstrom, screaming at him that he didn't cut the ball back. But lovely diagonal from Ollie Norwood. McBurney gets up above Bolly, wins a flick on. Then he's driving in. He's got Traore on his outside shoulder. He manages to hold him off, but I think he could have cut this back maybe to Billy Sharp instead. The angle's really acute. He's trying to leather it at goal. It's gone high over the bar.
Nearly 2 minutes gone in this second half. Patricio with the long kick forward. Then Donker with the nod on. Podence trying to keep it going. Jimenez. Podence has stayed down in a heap. And he's got a free kick here from Mike Dean, who is calling the Sheffield United defender over here, John Egan, who made the challenge. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card.
Oh, he's lucky boy. I mean, this is, I guess, we're up against players who are so quick. It just gets up there. Then Donker and Podence. He's in first. Gets there ahead of Egan. It is a foul. Probably should be yellow. Absolutely. And, these players, they're so quick. The nippy ones need to be looked after. I was one of them myself.
Probably a free kick away now, though, Egan, from going off, you'd say.
Well, absolutely. Mike Dean just saying to him there, slow down, steady on, because one more, it could be you done.
I think Mike Dean loves more than to show a red card. Free kick Wolves in towards Saiss, inside the box. McBurney with the header out. Basham helps it on its way outside the penalty area. Martinho then fouls his man as he wins the ball. Sharp goes down. Free kick Sheffield United.
Well, there is something else he likes more than the red card, and that is standing on the terraces.
Literally standing on the terraces.
Was it Tranmere's beloved team?
Big Tranmere Rovers fan who were relegated on points per game at the end of last season, which didn't go down well with their fans. Nor Mike Dean, I imagine. Kick away here by Ramsdale for the home side, who trailed by 2-0. 3 minutes gone inside this second half. Lundstrom. Saiss wellies it into Lundstrom, and it deflects through to Rui Patricio. He will take his time. Do you think Nuno will have said to his side at half-time to kind of ramp it up again as they did at the start of the first half?
Well, possibly. I think obviously they'll expect a storm, that's for sure, from Chris Wilder. He want a reaction, so I'm sure they've said, look, we're going to have to weather something here. First 10, 15 minutes, can we see it out? Take our time. Look, the ball's gone out for a throw there. Romain Saiss just left it, and obviously Marcel, as Christian Wilder saying, you're not looking at the effing ball, man. So obviously he's not too happy, maybe with the referee or one of his strikers.
I'd love to see a face-off between Chris Wilder and Mike Dean. That I would pay good ticket money for. Jimenez has gone down here. Marcel trying to make a challenge against McBurney, illegally so. Free kick. Sheffield United wide on the right-hand side here. Norwood standing over it, trying to gain a few yards forward. Jimenez trying to say it's further back up the touchline. Sheffield United took the free kick and knocked it against Jimenez, who then tried to sprint away with it further downfield because Norwood was trying to make the point that Jimenez hadn't backed off. He was standing on the ball there. Wolves tried to start a counter-attack, but Mike Dean saying no. So free kick again, wide on the right. Norwood will swing this one into the Wolves box. Just about everyone back to defend here, including Jimenez. Norwood lifts this one into the Wolves box now, but a poor ball headed away by Moutinho. Podence on the chest, hammers it into the sky. Temperature has cooled slightly here now after a red-hot day in Yorkshire. Bolly with a big up and under away, up towards Neto. He gets his head to it. Podence takes it down, good control, helps it on, but then Donker won't get to it down the right-hand side. Baldock coming across, and in the end he plays a safe ball away to Stevens, who returns it to Baldock. Norwood holds on to it here. To the left-hand side. Stevens bends one into the left channel. Looking for the run here of Lundstrom, who gets there. Bolly backpedaling to get there. Lundstrom tries to play it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Shooting chance for Fleck. Right across goal off the post. Out towards Baldock, who drives it in. And Cody clears it away off the line. I think it may have been going wide anyway. But Sheffield United, they're a fraction from getting back into this game.
Oh, fantastic strike. Great one in behind here from Lundstrom. Just gets ahead of Bolly, then cuts the ball back. I think it's Fleck here that rifles it low against the base of the post. Terrific strike. And then balled up with a follow-up. I think it was actually going wide, but maybe Conor Cody just got a little nick on it, turn it around the post.
Sheffield United corner on the left. Wolves under threat here. Clipped in high towards Egan. Wolves able to clear it away. Norwood goes back to the halfway line where Chris Wilder's team will start again. United have lost just 2 of their last 13 home games against Wolves in the league. Won each of the last 2. They won 1-0 here back at the start of July. Wolves have possession inside their own half here with Dendoncker, but it gives the ball away. Wolves just not playing football like they were at the start of the first half. McBurney coming forward here, losing the ball. Marcel touches it away to João Moutinho. Out to the right side to Jimenez. Adama Traore has been so quiet in this game, but he's running forward now, skipping inside, then out. Jimenez takes the ball. Traore's ahead of him down the right. Takes the ball back again now, Traore. Jimenez isn't inside the box yet. Traore now lifts it inside the area, and it's deflected behind for a Wolves corner.
Yeah, but again there you see Wolves, when they do break, the problem is, Traore looked up, there's only really Podence in the box, and at times they have really struggled to get numbers up in support of the likes of Jimenez. You wouldn't say they're blessed athletically, apart from maybe Traore. Podence is quite quick, Neto, but I think at times, because they are so deep, because they do struggle to get players into the box to help Jimenez, maybe don't make quite enough of their attacks.
A quirk of the Wolves system really is they don't really have a midfielder making on-rushing runs into the box, especially when Neves and Moutinho play together. That stat about Neves is always wheeled out, about the fact he always scores from outside the box. Vitinha, they're hoping, is one of those players who can deliver those kind of runs. Wolves corner on the right. Moutinho with the outswinger. In it comes towards Saiss, who knocked it down towards goal and just past the far post. Wolves nearly in for goal number 3.
Well, it's something they've worked on, obviously, with these outswingers. It's the opposite side here. The goal for Saiss, the first one, was a lefty outswinger. This one's a right-footed Moutinho. Right on the money, going away from goal. Saiss gets up highest, rises above. Baldock, I think it is. And McBurney gets a little downward header, skips off the turf, but just sails past the far post.
And if it was inside the far post, Ramsdale wouldn't have been getting there. Why did teams stop putting players on post, David Connolly?
Well, I think they're just trying to clear it so that, obviously there's less players in and around the 6-yard box, that obviously it'll take a header with an outswinger from, 8 yards out to go in the back of the net. Maybe they think that's, I guess, easier to defend than, 10, 12 bodies right on your goal line.
So they're kind of playing percentage football in the end, in that the chances that, the player would be needed there are so slim that it's not worth putting a man on the post.
Yeah, that's right.
Traore on the right here for Wolves, trying to get the crossover. Doesn't really have the space. Knocks it off the body of O'Connell. Traore having to go it alone on the right-hand side. He has won a throw. O'Connell screaming at the assistant. Wolves still leading by 2-0. We've played 9 minutes in this second half. Traore taking this throw and throwing it back towards the volley on the halfway line. Sheffield United sprinting out to close Wolves down here. Cody will clip it back forward. Dinks ball over the halfway line. Gareth Southgate won't have been impressed by that as it lands at the feet of John Fleck. McBurney plays it back to Fleck, who drives it across the pitch, but Moutinho is there to intercept for Wolves. Then a sloppy pass from Bolly.
Well, McBurney just left Fleck short there, didn't he? I think dropped it short and he had to really invite the challenge. Hospital pass from McBurney.
Baldock on the right. His brother Sam, a player as well, though a striker in the EFL. Moutinho plays it away to the left here for Pedro Neto, who darts inside with the ball. The Portuguese driving forward diagonally.
Oh, he could have released the ball much earlier, couldn't he, to Podence. Took too long. Now they're back in numbers, United.
Daniel Podence does have the ball now. On his outside is Neto. Back to Podence again. Signed from Olympiacos in January, gives the ball away frustratingly for Wolves.
Well, I think he's actually frustrated with Neto that he didn't give him the ball much earlier, because he made a terrific run just on the outside of one of those Sheffield United centre-halves into the space between the wing-back. Wanted to pass early, and Neto just took that extra touch. Took too long. By the time he looked at passing the ball, they were back in their shape.
Would you be surprised if Neto is replaced sometime soon? Maybe the likes of Diogo Jota or Ruben Vinagre, who can play wide left as well?
Oh, I love Diogo Jota. I'd love to see him on the pitch. I think Neto's done okay, but I'm sure we'll see Jota at some point.
Baldock down the right. Sheffield United looking for a goal back in this game. Baldock, right corner of the penalty area, rolls it down the line. Basham is up there, but Moutinho puts a foot in for Wolves, plays it away. He's then caught. Wolves free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. Baldock thinks that Moutinho went down a bit easily there, and perhaps he did.
Yeah, I agree. Made a meal of that. Can barely touch anyone these days, and I think he's just had a little swing here, Moutinho, just to clear the ball. Not the bravest of clearances, and slight follow through from Baldock, but nothing.
Wolves free kick. Chris Wilder not looking too impressed. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Has his team given him the response he'd have wanted?
Yeah, it's been much improved, hasn't it? Obviously, he hit the post, had a couple of opportunities. They were always going to struggle for goals. You've got to remember that. What was it? A league low, 114 shots on target. What that means is if you are low scorers, you've got to have a really good defence. And last year they did, only conceded 39, but Now they're 2 down, they've got to score 3. And if you're not prolific scorers, very difficult for you.
O'Connell out to the left-hand side. Stevens again looking for that channel ball, and he's plays it into a good area here for Fleck, who hit the post about 10 minutes ago. Has it on the edge of the penalty area here. Fleck is weaving his way through. Deflected to the left-hand side to Sharp. And he's Sheffield United legend. Into the box again for Fleck, who can drive one across here, and it goes. Saiss nods the ball away. But pressure's still on here for the home side. Eventually Traore gets it out. But it's not sticking for Wolves right now. Sheffield United playing short, neat football here. O'Connell back towards the halfway line. Egan steps forward with the ball as Jimenez thought he was going to go back. Plays it forward now to McBurney. Egan's carried on his run towards the edge of the penalty area. In the box now, a real chance for Sheffield United right the way across goal. And it couldn't be turned in by Lundstrom, who'd made the run into the 6-yard box there. Still on the right-hand side. Norwood to the edge of the area, away by Moutinho. Wolves really can't get the ball out here, and eventually the flag goes up for offside.
Sharp should do better here. I mean, to me, he's trying to lay the ball across to McBurney, but it's about half a yard in front of him, more than it needed to be. Terrific little run and football. I think Lundstrom was offside. It's actually Lundstrom he tries to play the ball across to, but puts it too far in front of him, Sharp. Really poor. I mean, Lundstrom certainly should be tapping home.
Doesn't wrap his foot around it, does he, to bring it back inside?
No, he's just got to bend that away from the goalkeeper instead. Doesn't get enough on it. What a waste. Missed opportunity. Should have been 2-1.
Nearly an hour gone here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Wolves 2.